Hey guys, I'm back again. I haven't done a video in a while. My son was home with allergies. It's spring. We took him a horseback riding for his birthday last weekend. And apparently he's allergic to one of those farm animals. Not sure which one, but he played with all of them. He had a good time. Little Booger is 3 now, believe it or not. So slow news week. My wife actually asked me 2 days ago, because she's busy at work. She's like, oh, what's in the news this week? I haven't been able to watch anything on TV. So I said, oh, the big news is Donald Trump is really wants to get back into Facebook, and he's complaining that, you know, they're stripping him of his freedoms, and Fox News is talking about these companies take away freedom of speech from Americans, and if they could take it away from Donald Trump, they could take it away from anyone. First and foremost, right, there's 3 points on this I'm gonna make, and I want this to be the last time I talk about this idiot Donald Trump. The first point is Facebook is a private company. It's not a soapbox on a sidewalk that you're allowed to stand on and shout obscenities or whatever you want to people, right? It doesn't belong to me. I have a Facebook account. Everyone I know has a Facebook account, but only one person owns the company, right? And he's a billionaire as a result of owning the company. It's his company. He's responsible as shareholders. He's responsible to bring in a profit from advertisements that's littered throughout of Facebook, right? It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to anyone else that uses Facebook. It's private space, right? You come to my house, I own my house, but if I say, you know what, it's COVID, could you wear a mask when you come visit me? You have a right to not visit me and not wear a mask when you come to my house, right? It's my rules, it's my house, right? And I have a right to impose those rules because it's my personal space that I own and I pay for, right? White Trump supporters always talk about rights and ownerships and privacy this, privacy that. That's what Facebook is. It's a company that's owned by someone, and they have rights to exclude people from it that's spreading lies, right? Second point is, Trump said a lot of crap in 4 years as president. He's had mini bans here and there from social media, but the one thing that banned him was lying about the election. Election fraud was never proven. Like I said, the most powerful man in the country had 3 months and millions of dollars, right? He had resources, he had money. He also was in a position of power where if there was any shred of any election fraud, and one person that would have found it would have been the president of America, right? Concerning his own election, right? If Trump couldn't find election fraud in 3 months, millions of dollars spent, resources at fingertips, no one's gonna find election fraud 6 months after the fact, right? It doesn't exist. Brings me to my last point, right? How creepy is it that Trump is what, 74, 76? A 70-year-old man is obsessed with being on Facebook the way a 16-year-old teenage girl would be if you ground her to her bedroom as a parent and took her phone away for a couple of days, right? That's who this ex-president, 70-plus-year-old man, grown man, is. That's what he is. He's become this, it's almost a joke, right? Right? I'm a grown person. I'm not 70, I'm not 60, I'm not 50, I'm not 40. I have no obsession with Facebook, right? Right? I have no obsession with being on there. If they ban me, they ban me. I move on. I have other things in my life besides Facebook, right? I've said this before. When Trump was president, I know towards the end of his presidency, he kept complaining about the bans from Twitter and Facebook and how they're taking away his freedom of speech, and Fox News was right in there with him. Now, I said it then in November. The White House has a press room downstairs, and not a lot of people know this apparently. The president didn't know this apparently. That when you're president of this country, right? He's not president of Mali, president of some nondescript country, right, in the Middle East or Antarctica, right? President of the United States of America. He go downstairs in his press room, make a phone call or two, and instantly in every news outlet across the planet, you can hear what he has to say, right? Right? He's the president of the country, right? It's not me. It's not Joe Blow, the bus driver, is president of the United States of America. If he has something to say, go down into his press office. Election was a fraud. I have proof right here. Go down and say it. No one's going to stop him. News outlets to come and report it, right? Did he do that? No. If anything, I remember around December 6th, 2020, he did a weird press conference. It was like 2 or 3 hours long of him rambling on and on and on. None of the news outlets I knew reported it. ABC News mentioned it at 6:30. They said, oh, Trump is on TV saying some nonsense. We're not going to talk about it. But we're just going to let you know, he's in the White House press room saying something about election fraud that hasn't been proven yet. And he doesn't seem to have any proof still of it. That's all they said. Fox News gave like 5 minutes about it, saying our great leader is speaking and he's going to uncover election fraud eventually. He hasn't done it yet, but he's going to uncover election fraud eventually, right? Now, 4 or 5 months after Biden's been in office, and it just won't end, right? Election fraud, election was stolen, election this, election that, right? And Trump is saying he wants to get back on Facebook primarily he wants to run for office again, I assume. And these other Republicans that now support him are saying that they're just stripped him of his freedom and his freedom of speech. The problem with this is now they want to punish politicians in Florida. They want to punish Facebook and Twitter and social media platforms that want to censor politicians in the state of Florida. They want to make it a law that Facebook could be fined $125,000 or some amount of money on who they censor and it politically, right? And I'll go back to my first point. Facebook is not a public company. We don't own it. The government doesn't own Facebook. It doesn't run Facebook, right? Facebook makes billions of dollars because we all use it. It's an open platform that's owned by shareholders and one guy, right? It's not owned by the government, right? It's not Facebook.org, right? It's Facebook.com, right? Free markets, privacy is what Republicans stands for until it becomes something that hurts them or something where they can't go on Facebook and lie about, right? Like I said, Trump didn't get a lifetime ban for being racist, for even speaking his mind, if you want to say that, right? He got a lifetime ban when he lied about something that's very important to every single American citizen, the election, right? Trump supporters want to talk about gun rights and rights this and freedom of speech. Your number one right in this country is an American citizen, right? That separates us from a banana republic or dictatorship or even Russia, right? You guys love Russia so much, Trump supporters, right? Fox News, you love Russia, you love Putin. You know what separates us from them? We have free, fair elections, right? Trump didn't find any fraud in this election, but he lied about it. And that's when Facebook decided to ban him, because his lie led to people dying in the Capitol of January 6th, people getting hurt, and people died as a result of his lies. Right, let's call it what it is. It hasn't been proven. It's a lie. If I accuse you of stealing my car, and I'm sitting in the car without any proof that you are in my car, you stole my car, I'm what? A liar, right? And you could come after me and say Olaf is lying on my character. I want to see Olaf. You have every right to do that. Right? So I'm going to leave it at that, but just think about your president, Trump supporters. Think about this guy. He wants to get back on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook so badly. Right? Grown man, 70 plus years old, obsessed with something that my 12-year-old cousin uses to take selfies of her in sneakers. Right? It's just a shame that a 70 plus year old president of America can't control himself to not get banned from something my 12-year-old, 13-year-old cousin used to take selfies of her makeup and her Jordans. It's a shame, right? That's the guy you want in office in 2024, and that's the guy GOPs are saying he's the future of the GOP party.